This video talks about death and bereavement as a result of blood cancer. If you're affected by this, please call our free support line on 0808 2080 888.
We've both been in this awful position of losing a loved one, but I don't know, what would you say to somebody who had perhaps recently lost a loved one to blood cancer? What would you have any advice to give them?
That is such a tough question to answer. I would suggest perhaps, that applies to anyone who loses a loved one, to see if they can find someone in the same boat, like we found each other. Or perhaps concerning blood cancer, perhaps go on the forum, on the website, and see if you can find someone there who will click with you and really be on the same wavelength. But it's a hard one. It's a really difficult one. What would you think?
I think my advice would be to talk about them a lot. Talk about your loved one that you've lost. But you're absolutely right. There's no right way or wrong way to grieve at all. Everybody is individual, and what works for one person might not work for another. I'd say I had therapy and it helped, but a lot of people don't want to do that. They find the idea of talking to a stranger about feelings is really, really difficult. But it might be an idea to give that a try. But I think it's such an individual thing. I wouldn't, there's not one point where I say, yes, you definitely need to do that, because you can't say that to somebody. So so not a huge amount of advice to say, you will benefit from this, because somebody might not benefit from, as I say, talking, but keep that person alive in your mind. And I think the other thing is to say there is no time limit to grief. It really isn't. There's not a specific time that you say, okay, right, well, I've done this for so long, I should be over it. You're never going to be over it. I mean, especially unfortunately in our case, it's our sons were our future. You know, we have got other children, but it's still that person has gone, that you will never know their potential. You will never know what they would have become. The awful thing is Rob's become more well known since he's died, which is odd in a way, but I think you need to talk about that person to other people so that they know how much they meant to you, because I think you have to learn. I think you have to try and learn to live with the grief, walk alongside it, not ever try and get over it, because I think that's totally unrealistic. Because how do you do that? You can't forget that person, can you? You know, you don't want to. Absolutely. Why should we? You know, so try and have it there beside you, walk alongside it, but don't think, right, that's got to go back now, it's got to go, because you'll never achieve that, and you're not living your life either, because you might feel that you've failed by not getting over it. Because there's pressure, isn't there? I think that's the trouble, pressure from other people, because perhaps they can't handle it.
Yes. I mean, like, Matthew kept a blog during his illness, which his sister kicked off, because so many people wanted to know what was going on. So we just did that because it was easiest to reach people, because you don't have time or energy to give everyone a call. And we kept that going for a while after Matthew died. And that sort of helped a little bit as well. Yeah, I find dealing with grief is, as you say, it's never ending.
Yeah.
My grief finishes when I die. You know, it's but I saw an interesting picture of it once, that grief is that size and it doesn't go smaller, but your life forms or shapes around it. it sort of it's integrated in your life. It doesn't identify you. It's not your identity, but it is very much part of you, because every experience shapes you, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think the other thing that we have spoken about before is the fact that even if there's a really happy occasion, there's always the unhappiness as well, and that's not wrong, but it's because you're missing that other person, and you think they should be here at this birthday party, at the birth of a new child, at Christmas, anything. You will always miss them, and it's not wrong to miss that person. You're not a horrible person thinking, oh, well, I can't join in with this because so and so's not there. But it's there. You can't pretend that it isn't happening.